took a step toward its future earlier this afternoon.
Connor Magliozzi brings us the story from Orono.
A groundbreaking ceremony was held in Orono to usher in a new beginning for Tyler Technologies. Their new building, set to be completed in mid-2024, will bring in roughly 50 new employees to join their 30 based in Bangor. Located at the site of the old University Inn, the new building looks to honor the legacy the inn left behind by continuing to be a center for the community.
Yes, the sip and dip was a very popular item here for the local townsfolk. We're going to continue to honor this property in terms of offering up community use. We'll have an outdoor patio area. We'll continue to have the gazebo down there, and we'll allow use of the patio and then some interior space as well as some training rooms inside the building for community use off hours.
Tyler Technologies works to help government and schools through creating safer and smarter communities through industry-leading technologies. The new office will have a much closer proximity to the University of Maine. With it, they hope to help shape local students for their future.
It's the gateway coming from the town into the university, and having that close proximity and connection to the University of Maine, building upon the partnerships that we already have with the University of Maine, was really important to us in terms of making sure that we grow that partnership, as well as expanding on our internship programs that we have in having local interns from the university.
Connor Magliozzi, WBI, TV5 News, Orono.